Yo, what's going on, everybody? Destroyed to Boston, aka the King of Boston. Today we're back for episode 12, I think, of my NBA 2K14 MyGM here on NBA 2K14 with the Minnesota Timberwolves on the PS4. And today we're taking on the Toronto Raptors in Toronto, a very tough place to play, a very tough place to win. One of the best home court advantages in the NBA, and a very improved team from a couple of years ago. And even coming into this year, this was a team not thought to do much, but obviously the Raptors probably overexceeded, won I think 47 games, made the playoffs, and almost won a playoff series for the first time since like 2000, I think, or 2001, I think was the year they went to the conference finals. Yeah, they went to the conference finals against the Sixers. Anyway, so we're going up against Toronto. It's a pretty similar team to what they are in real life. Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, no Jonas Valanciunas, but they do have Joel Embiid, who has really panned out into one of the better centers in the NBA, as you will see in this game, averaging something like 19 and 10 in his second year in the NBA so far. And he is really become an impact player for them. Patrick Patterson starts, as well as, I believe, Landry Fields, as you can see him here, but Fields giving it out to DeRozan for the mid-range jumper. That is not his strong suit, but Embiid is there for the offensive rebound, put it back in, and the Raptors are on the board 2-0. Minnesota tries to answer back right here, and I quickly realized Zach LaVine, could just blow right by Kyle Lowry. Lowry, he's just an okay defender in real life, but in this game, LaVine was just so much better than him, getting by him and stuff like that. So anyway, there's a nice and one right there. LaVine going to the hoop. That's Embiid's first foul, or it might have actually been a second foul. That's a story to watch. Keep an eye out on. Embiid would get into a little bit of foul trouble today, but Patterson there for the three-pointer. That might actually only been a 2, but either way, knocks it down. 11-7 now is the score. DeRozan on the break, and DeMar DeRozan so lethal in the fast break. This time he just takes a little pull-up jumper, but he gets to go. 6-point lead for the Raptors early on here, but LaVine into the paint right there, and he's got, I believe, 7 points now early on. So Timberwolves hanging around a little bit here, down by 4. Exum with the steal. He's going to try and take it on the fast break. We love running the break with this team. He dishes it off to Chase Budinger for the one-handed slam. And Budinger, pretty underrated on the fast break, but he's turned into a pretty good player to run with us. So Lowry to Landry Fields, though, and Fields, who has become pretty obsolete in real life. One of the worst contracts in the NBA, I would say, although it has become an expiring, so it's not too bad there. But knocks down the 3. Then Tyler Hansborough there, Psycho T with the little layup. Now Patty Mills dribbling in. Instead of going to the paint with Patty Mills, I'm just going to pull up and take a little 10-foot jump shot. He gets it to go, and that is going to make it a 3-point game. Now Rodney Hood with an offensive rebound, and Rodney Hood taking it up himself. He can do this a little bit, handle the ball, put it on the floor, and get to the hoop right there with a nice little right-handed finish. Really liking Rodney Hood. Want to integrate him more into the offense. He hasn't been utilized, I think, fully so far in the first couple of games of the season. And Budinger with the slam, one-handed, and he gets it to go. So Rodney Hood fadeaway jumper to end the quarter will not go, and that's going to leave it a 22-22 game. Heading into the second quarter at the end of 1, it is all tied here in Toronto. Pretty solid performance, I'd say, so far by the T-Wolves. Nothing spectacular. That's a bad pass from Hood. Rondé Jefferson picks it up, and Rondé Jefferson with the one-handed slam. I believe, might be a rookie in this game, out of Arizona. And Kyle Lowry now dishing it off to Jefferson, who puts it on the floor, dishes it right back to Kyle Lowry, down in the paint. Easy one-handed layup right there. 7-point lead for the Raptors, but LaVine getting it to the hoop, drive and kick to Alfred Payton. He was a step inside the 3-point line, so that'll only be a 2, but we cut the lead back down to 5. Great pass right there from LaVine. Now here's DeMar DeRozan picking up a steal. He's going to give it off to Patrick Patterson, who's going to slam it down with 2 hands and put the lead back up to 9. Now Dante Exum with the ball, 6:39 to play here in the second. Exum driving in, finds himself a little bit of space, shoots the jumper, and gets it to go. Exum putting it on the floor and creating his own shot. Definitely something he can do, and we wanted to do more of it. I think he can be a bit better of an offensive creator for us. But Kawhi Leonard on the break, and that is why I love running the fast break with this team. So athletic, and Kawhi Leonard showing it off right there with the one-handed slam. But Embiid going to work on Gorgui Dieng right there, just muscling him into the paint. Easy layup for Joel Embiid. Now Grievous Vasquez in the post. This is pretty ridiculous. He just got an and one over Channing Frye. I don't know if that will ever happen in real life, but anyway, at least on the post. Amir Johnson back out. Now Busic's down to Amir Johnson. One-handed layup, and the Raptors' depth showing off a little bit here as their second unit, really putting in some damage to this Timberwolves second unit. You can see guys like Psycho T, Amir Johnson, Dwight Busick, I almost called him Tyson Ross, but Terrence Ross. Here's Jonas Valanciunas. I said he wasn't on the team. I meant he didn't start. And it wasn't really any good for this team. He didn't do too much. But yeah, their second unit really put a gap into us and really put put the hurt into our second unit, and they open up an 18-point lead here in the second quarter. They outscored us like 30-12, I think, in that quarter. That was pretty bad, and that was really a large portion of that was the second unit of their team just being better than our second unit. So now we got to close the gap here. Dante Exum trying to do all he can with the one-handed slam there on the nice little pick and roll. It wasn't really a pick and roll. It was just use the pick and get in the paint for Dante Exum. But Kawhi Leonard finds Zach LaVine on the break, and LaVine almost went for the reverse there. Ends up getting bumped. No foul called, but he gets the layup to go. Down to a 12-point game, trying to make a comeback. Patterson, though, back to Kyle Lowry for three, and LaVine just lost him there. Can't do that. Bad defensive awareness from our first-year point guard. Channing Frye for three, no good, but Gorgie Jang there in the offensive rebound. Great hustle from the big man, and he puts it back up and into lead. Still at 12, trying to close that gap. Patterson with the ball top of the key, down low to Fields, and Fields, this is just the frustrating part of 2K when guys like Landry Fields are making contact layups over Kawhi Leonard. Not really something you would see too much in real life, not really something you can do about that. You would take Fields, or you would give Fields that shot 10 times out of 10, and he just makes it in this game, which is a little frustrating, but there's Rodney Hood's spot up for three, and Hood getting into the action again, cuts it back down to 15, now still 17. Peyton actually this is Rodney Hood again looking for the screen, and Hood finds himself open, three, and he gets it to go. You can't go under the screen on Rodney Hood, and that's the thing I like about Hood is he can put the ball on the floor and do some things on his own instead of just stand in the corner like a Chase Budinger does and try to hit three. So that's why I think Hood is a little bit better than Budinger, although Budinger maybe a little bit more of a consistent player for us, and maybe we should be giving Hood some of Budinger's minutes to try and get Hood more into this offense. We'll see. That could be something that pans out or plays out a little bit more as the season goes on. Here's a little driving kick to Horford, who did not get involved in the offense too much today, and that's something I really got to work on is getting Horford involved. I haven't quite figured out the best way to use him, and I certainly would say he plays out better as a center than a power forward, at least in this game. Just sort of based on his movement, and or I should say the way he moves, and sort of the way he plays. Definitely plays better as a center. I think that's partially because that's just how this game, views him as a center. I think he could play both in the real life NBA, but obviously this is not the real NBA, so got to figure out how to get Horford more involved. I certainly don't mind playing the two bigs, though. We've been a lot better on the boards this year, so not something I'm going to go away from. But Embiid, they're just dominating Larry Sanders again. Right-handed hook shot. Kyle Lowry with the ball, gives it out to Patrick Patterson. Mismatch here a little bit, but he's going to give it down to Embiid, and Embiid just too good all day long. He was having a huge game. Here's Kawhi Leonard in the post, though. A bit of a size mismatch here with DeRozan on him, and just a little up and under. It's not a size mismatch, but it's a strength mismatch, I would say. I think Leonard just a little bit stronger than DeRozan, enough to get in the paint there. There's a nice block, but it goes right out to Leonard in the corner for three, and we'll take that 10 times out of 10. Kawhi Leonard, wide open corner three. He knocks that down. And now Embiid with the ball, though, going to work on Horford, and Embiid just having his way down low against Minnesota right now. So 14-point game, trying all we can to just get open threes and try to close this gap. Here we get it down to 11 here with a three from Exum. And now on the inbound, we're going to go for another three here. I got LaVine. I was trying to get him open on the three-point line, but it does not work. So he ends up sort of just taking 2 steps back, finds himself open, and gets it to go. And we're back to an 8-point game. But now it's a 9-point game, 92-83. Here's DeMar DeRozan. Down low to Embiid, and the and one. And that was pretty much the dagger. That would really seal it. Couldn't really make an effort, or couldn't really come back from that. I think it was just too much at this point. Exum getting in the paint, gets it back down to 10, but only with 2:30 to play. Not really enough time. Plus, we really had trouble stopping this Toronto offense. DeRozan floater in the lane. Gets it to go. 12-point lead again now with 2 minutes to play. And here's DeRozan once again coming back down to Landry Fields, who's going to actually, I really jumped there foolishly, and then he gets this crazy, stupid flip shot, and that would pretty much do it. So we lose by a final score of, this is actually going to be 104-97 as Budinger knocks down the buzzer beater three. His second buzzer beater of the game, but would not be enough. 8-point loss, tough loss to the Raptors, a team that I thought we could beat despite playing on their home court. East Coast swing here a little bit. Obviously those road trips are tougher than any regular game against the Raptors, but game I thought we should win. We're still doing pretty well this season. I think we're 12 and was this game 18? I think it might have been game 18. I think we're like 12 and 6 now. But I'm gonna skip ahead like a full month till our next game. I was gonna play the Raptors like 3 weeks. This is only like a week or two maybe after the last episode. There was a Raptors game like a month ahead, but it was at home and I wanted to play in Toronto. So the next game is going to be like 5 weeks away, so we're going to start moving through this a little bit quicker. But here we really got killed with the turnovers today. 15 turnovers in that second quarter, especially when they open up that gap. Our second unit could not do anything to stop them, nor could they do anything to score on them. So Anyway, that's pretty much going to do it. You can see not really any impressive performances from our guys, although LaVine had a good game. Embiid really dominated, player of the game, no doubt. That's going to do it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you did enjoy, and I'm out. Peace.